provide clarity. We have endeavored to make sure we were consistent with guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, from health experts, and so many others. We certainly noted that in our last order, our big effort was to make sure people were getting vaccinated, to make sure that we were encouraging vaccines. And that's why in the previous Kansas City order, you saw a relaxation of the mask mandate for those who were vaccinated and those who were in a room where they knew everyone else was vaccinated. It is my clear view that that would be helpful guidance nationally. But the CDC went an additional step beyond, stating yesterday, as we all saw and as we all recognized, that those who are vaccinated can go anywhere without having to worry about wearing a mask, with the exception of public transportation, airplanes, other such things. When talking about that order and what it meant for enforcement of Kansas City's order, we ran into a challenge, which is a clear one I think everyone recognizes. How can you regulate? How can you send our health department environmental health folks to enforce a mask mandate that is only applied to unvaccinated persons when vaccinated and unvaccinated persons may be in the same room, may be in the same area, may be in the same Arrowhead Stadium, or anything of that sort? And so we found, somewhat regrettably, that it is the most prudent option for us now to proceed to rescind our mask mandate and Kansas City's emergency order in its entirety. At noon today, you will see an end to the emergency order that has existed for roughly 14 months in Kansas City. There will be no mask rules that will be enforced by the health department, regulated industries, or other divisions of Kansas City government. What that does not mean, it does not mean that businesses cannot continue to have their own rules. People have called my office and others asking, what does this mean for schools? What does this mean for their local businesses? What does this mean for the neighborhood grocery stores? All the rules that existed for your schools, for your grocery stores, for your private businesses and enterprises can continue to exist. And importantly, they have the authority to continue to impose rules as they see fit to protect those who come within their doors. We do encourage people, particularly those who are unvaccinated. Step one is to get vaccinated. We continue to have a number of opportunities in Kansas City for vaccines. On the weekends, we continue to have an opportunity at Smith Hale School, that's in southeast Kansas City. Walk-in opportunities from 9:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. We also have an opportunity in the northeast of Kansas City tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Mattie Rhodes Center. We encourage everyone, particularly now that we have vaccination opportunities for those who are 12 and above, to get vaccinated, to make sure that you are sharing the story of vaccinations, and importantly, to ensure that we are looking out for everyone else. Just because there is not a government regulation does not mean that we need to let our guards down from COVID-19. We have done exceptional work as a city. Our businesses, our restaurants, our retailers, and so many others have done exceptional work to look out for the best interests of others. We will continue to do that work. The health department will continue to be available for businesses in Kansas City, for schools and others who want to discuss how they can responsibly reopen. But what you are seeing today is that we're listening to guidance. We listen to guidance every step of the way, no matter who was the president, no matter what the guidance was. When the CDC was saying that we should reduce capacity, we did it. When the CDC was recommending stay-at-home orders, we did it. And now when the CDC is recommending that we go looser on mask mandates and other rules, we are doing that now. We think that is the most responsible way we can do things. A few anecdotes, I'll get out of the way, have Dr. Archer talk, and I'll come back for questions. Item one, I've said a few times, and this week I was in Washington talking to some of our leaders. The way I've seen it in Kansas City is largely that we've broken up our groups into a third, and a third. It seems as if a third of Kansas Cityans wanted the vaccine, were in a rush to get it, and have largely been vaccinated and gone through a full vaccine sequence. We're delighted that they have done so, and we hope, to the extent that they have children who are of the vaccination-able age, that they look to get those children vaccinated at any one of our walk-in opportunities as well. There is another third, however, of people that seem very unwilling to get vaccines. We will work with them. We will try to talk to them. I've actually had conversations, an interesting one with Senator Hawley and Senators Blum, about how we've talked to vaccine-resistant populations. Often it's something where you're messaging with your family, telling them that it makes sense, maybe a conversation with your grandma, your mother, somebody else, and saying how this is important for you to do. I share the sentiment that I think was shared by both those senators and so many others, Republicans and Democrats, who have said vaccination opportunities are essential for us getting back to a normal way of life. But there's another third that I think is very important for us, and that's what the CDC, I think, was trying to address yesterday, and maybe they will. And it's that group that is perhaps on the fence or just for whatever reason has not gotten vaccinated yet. We can't implore enough how important it is that you go and get vaccinated. City government has continued to try to reduce those barriers to entry for people getting vaccinated. Walk up somewhere. Walk up to a grocery store. Walk up to any place where there's an opportunity to receive a vaccine. It is safe. It is good for you. It is the way that we can protect our families. It is the way we can protect our friends. And it's the way that we get back to a full normal, so that by next fall, next winter, next spring, we're looking at a world where this is a memory for us, but it's one where we don't have to go back to trying to talk about other ways that we can protect everyone even further, or other, God help us, rules that might need to be imposed or directed by the CDC. There's one other thing I want to note before I exit for a moment, and it's this. Throughout this pandemic, in western Missouri and eastern Kansas, there have been a number of folks, health directors and others, who have stood up for public health and science. And I include in that our school districts. I particularly will give a shout out to a number of our school districts in areas that didn't have mask orders. Those who are in other counties of western Missouri outside of Jackson, Clay, and Platte, those who are in every county in Kansas except for Wyandotte, who held on to mask orders because they recognized none of their high schoolers, none of their middle schoolers were vaccinated. They stood strong with very tough dissension, and I commend them for that. There are also a number of folks, our health directors in the region, I want to recognize. Dr. Archer, we've mentioned a lot. Bridget Schaefer in Jackson County, Christina Heinen in Independence. In Clay County, Gary Zaborak. Pettis County, David Switzer. Platte County, Mary Jo Vernon. Cass County, Andrew Warland. And in Wyandotte County, Julianne Van Loo. Johnson County, Kansas, Dr. Sammy Ariola. It has been important for us to work with all of these folks along the way, and they have done important work to make sure our region is safer. Wear a mask still. We're not throwing away our masks. In some ways, it depends on where you are. When I'm around a crowd of folks that I know have been vaccinated, that's a time where I'm more comfortable being maskless. If you're around a crowd of folks that you don't know vaccination status, or if everybody's unvaccinated, particularly if you're indoors, particularly if you're in a crowded space, still be smart and still be responsible.